Welcome back to the Finnmints podcast. My name is Finnmints. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. Okay, today we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about something a little on the serious side of things, just for a second, just for a few minutes of your time. Uh, we're gonna talk about self love and like mental health and stuff like that. Cause like while there are a bunch of like things like advocating for it, it's kind of important, more important these days to kind of like actually look into it. Like, yeah, people say like, "Oh, you matter," blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, of course you do, but it's kind of like it varies from person to person. And me being someone who kind of like struggled with my mental health for a while, even like loving myself and like self love and stuff like that. It's kind of one of those things that you have to talk about at least once occasionally, like keep up on it, like ask people how they're doing. So like I don't know, like I think it was I think I'll start with a story. So it was about I think about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I think when I turned 21. Um, so I was kind of like a little on the sad side of things, like depressed, which I mean, depression is more common than one would think. It's it's not it's something that needs to be like discussed. Like sure, I wasn't like suicidal or anything, but like I was kind of feeling down a little bit and that sucks, man. So, and actually in my case, the reason I bring up being 21 is that a lot of my I have a theory. I don't know if this is like it's like a hypothesis, but like a hypothesis that I have is like part of the reason why I was so sad and like depressed at that point. I'm not so much anymore, but part of the reason why I was sad at that point was because I was drinking a lot. And some people, um, it's kind of like alcohol is a depressant, and I don't think a lot of people like realize that. They're a lot of people are like, oh well, getting drunk and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but it also kind of like depends on like how much you consume, how much alcohol you consume. Me, on the other hand, let's just say I consumed a fair bit, a fair amount. I'll just leave it at that. And next thing I knew, I was kind of just like sad and stuff like that. So I was like sad for no. I was bummed out. Like I was having like those days where like I was kind of feeling bummed out for some reason, and I didn't know why. Like, and then like I think it hmm I had some sort of epiphany, for lack of a better word. Um, that's like, well, crap. Like this alcohol is like really messing me up. So it's kind of like, and all that consumption that I was doing at that time was kind of my mental health was kind of just being like, hey man, what are you what are you doing? What are you drinking so much for? And it would get to I felt really low. This is about maybe 2 years ago, so I'm feeling better now because like thankfully I stopped drinking. But that's just like one example of a piece of advice I can give you and an experience I can tell you about how I did not take care of myself mentally in that regard. So it's kind of like yeah, I'm not saying don't drink. I'm just saying be careful. Anyway, so self love. Let's kind of like shift into that lane for a second. Like I think people can define self love like uh you can define it like multiple ways. Personally, I define it as like I just said, loving myself, and like loving who I am and like what I do, and mainly who I am and like what I've become and just what I've been given, as I have risen for I don't know, but uh like what I have, like physically and like mentally. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where it's kind of like it doesn't matter like, I think people should love themselves regardless, because if you love yourself, and then that sort of like loving yourself can sort of lead to loving another person, and then great things can happen from there, so but the key is, based on my experiences I should say, is like, if let's suppose you're about to get in, you have like a crush on someone, right? And hmm, let's suppose that you want to like start dating this person. One piece of advice I would give you if you're in that scenario is, um try to love yourself as much as possible, like, build up your confidence and stuff like that, perhaps maybe before loving another person, cuz I've seen people and read about people who have jumped ahead of the gun, or gotten or they have jumped ahead of their self-love right into a relationship without loving themselves first. Let me go back again and just say that again. I've In other words, I've seen people who, firsthand by the way, who have been like, "Oh yeah, she's pretty cute," and they start dating, and then like a couple months later they break up for some reason, and it's like, come to find out, it's kind of like, well, the one of the people in one of the people in the relationship, doesn't matter if it was boy or girl, but one that one person in the relationship didn't care about themselves in a particular way, therefore making them incapable of loving another person. Does that kind of make sense? So, kind of wrapping that little segment up, love yourself first and then love someone else. I don't know, that sounds kind of harsh, but it's basically it. But I'm just trying to save you guys certain pain that I have sort of gone through. But hey, that's fine. It's just it. Yeah. So, and like, and of course with like, so like self love, for example, kind of just dipping back into that little pool. It's kind of like, take care of yourself pretty much, and like you only have one body per se. Like, take care of it. Mental health. Um, social media. Social media is one of those things that can really mess you up mentally. For example, um, a lot something that happened like, okay, let's just say this. A lot of like something that we don't really realize it until after it happens is, we social media does this thing where, we see a person on like Instagram or Snapchat or maybe even Twitter, I don't know. We see them having like this really great life, but it's kind of like we see them having a great time, let's say in Hawaii, right? And uh and when we see that, it triggers something in our mind that just kind of goes, "Oh, well, they're having a better time than me just looking at my phone, therefore making them more superior or something, making them a better person." It's like, no, 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 no. That's bullcrap is what it is. A lot of self comparison. Here's a hot take. Ready? Self comparison is complete crap. Prove me wrong. Self comparison is complete crap. It's garbage. Don't do it. It can ruin your mental state. Trust me, I've done a lot of self comparison, a bunch, and I'm still trying to not do it. Um, don't do it. No, because then, like, self comparison. When self comparison happens, jealousy starts to bloom, and that's never a good thing. Um, I even cheap little plug here, but I even made a documentary about how social media impacts our mental health. I'll drop it in the description down below so that you guys can go see it. But I kind of just go into like, how social media kind of just messes up our mental state. There are some good, some bad. Go check it out. Link down below. Um, but yeah, honestly, at the end of the day though, like, if you need, like, let's say you're at work or something and you need just a day off or something because you're kind of feeling stressed and stuff, yeah, you do you, mental, like, the mentality and mental health of others and every, like, I don't know how to say this without sounding just like, ugh, but mental, like, your mental state matters. Same with your physical state. It all matters, you know. So there's a reason why there are self-care days. Personally, I never take them, but they're there for a reason. So, yeah, that's all I got on self-love and mental health. That's just kind of what I've seen from experience and kind of what I felt personally. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please drop a like. Please subscribe to my channel. Go check out the other episodes of Junior Mints. They're over there on my channel. Um, Thank you guys very much for watching and listening. This has been Junior Mints. I have been Finnmints. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.